Hey, today I am going live on Facebook and Instagram. So hi, it's Cami here. And like I said, I'm live on Facebook and Instagram. So if I'm not quite looking at the right camera, that's why. But today I wanted to hop on to talk about the three biggest mistakes I've made on my website and how you can avoid doing the same thing so that you can save time and thousands of dollars and not make the mistakes that I've made. So if you're into the idea of doing things the easy way, then stay tuned because this video is for you. Okay, let me just check the chat because I see some people are joining. Hello. We have Iringo here. Welcome, Iringo. And to anybody just hopping on, we're here today talking about the three huge mistakes that I've made on my website and how you can avoid doing the same thing. So real quick, before we dive into today, I want to remind you that I'm hosting a free masterclass tomorrow, Friday, October 18th, to teach you how to create a simple website that sells your services. So if you're not already signed up yet, come and join me. And at this point, more than 300 other entrepreneurs in that masterclass tomorrow. It's simplesiteblueprint.com/masterclass, and I'll pop the link somewhere around this video. I just saw Kim joined. Welcome, Kim. So good to see you. All right, guys, so let's dive right on into those three huge mistakes. The first mistake I made when I was trying to create my first website and trying to build my websites in the past was that I went into it with no plan whatsoever. So it was a little bit like when I was in college and I used to try to write papers with no outline. I would sit down the night before and I would open up a blank Word doc and I would just try to conjure some brilliance and let it flow. But the problem with that approach is that I ended up trying to write, edit, plan, create everything all at the same time, right? And it was a total nightmare. So if you've ever tried to create things like that, if you've written papers like that in the past, give me a little heart or a thumbs up in the chat, all right? So the reason that this was such a terrible way to do things in college is because it was piling on too much crap all at once and not separating it out into a logical flow. And this is also how most people build their websites, and it's how I tried to build my first website, and it's why I struggled so much. So here's what I did, and maybe this sounds familiar to you as well. I researched endlessly. I eventually picked a website platform. Then I installed a theme, I opened up a fresh page, and then I tried to learn a new tech tool, plan my layouts, write my copy, find my images, and figure out my business all at the same time. And it was a disaster. It took so long and it was so frustrating. And the website I created, I wasn't happy with whatsoever. So I just saw Kim gave a little thumbs up in the chat. That's awesome, Kim, that you've done this as well. I think it's a very common mistake that a lot of us make. So when you do things this way, no wonder your website feels overwhelming, right? This is such a frustrating, time-consuming approach when you're trying to build and write and create and learn a tech tool and figure things out all at the same time. It's horrible. And when you do things this way, what ended up happening for me is that at best, you will build a website that kind of looks all right. Best case scenario. But you are not going to be building a website that's strategically engineered to attract clients to your business because you've just tried to do too many things at once. Now, this is normal. At least when I was first starting, there weren't great resources out there that walked you through every step of this process. So when I was starting out, I was relying on YouTube videos and blog posts, and I was really trying to patchwork quilt this whole thing together all alone. And I couldn't find one single resource that would teach me not only the tech and design skills that I needed, but also the strategy skills and the marketing skills and teach me how to get clarity around my business. You know, I found that either the tech tutorials were teaching me the tech and the business classes were teaching me how to get clear on my business, but nobody was teaching me how to do both. And that's why I developed the approach that I have now. And that's why I created my course, Simple Site Blueprint, to fix that gap. Because if you don't have both components, if you don't have the tech skills and the design skills, as well as understanding the strategy and how to get clear on your business and how to create your content and all of that stuff, you will struggle with your website just like I did. Now, let's take a look at what's happening here in the chat. We've got some more people popping in. Hello. So great to see you. Now, if you've felt overwhelmed, if you've tried to create your your website that way, if what I just said resonated, give me a thumbs up or a heart. Let me know that I'm not the only person who's made this big mistake, all right? So moving on, mistake number 2, this is such a huge one that I made when I was starting out, is that I used the wrong tech tools. So I spent months and months researching all the tech tools, and then eventually I decided to go with WordPress because it's what all the pros recommended. I, at the time, was trying to be a travel blogger, and I was exploring that, and all of the professional bloggers were using WordPress. So I went for that, and it ended up being the wrong choice for me and the wrong choice for my business ultimately. So I want you to think about this scenario for yourself. When you're shopping, let's say you're at Zara and you've tried on a shirt and that shirt is too small for you. You don't say like, oh, there's something wrong with me, I'm so broken, I'm so dumb, whatever. Like, no, you say, oh, this shirt's too small, let me get a different size. And it's the same thing with your tech tools. So if you're feeling like you're not tech savvy right now, or if you're really struggling to sort out your tech tools, it's not because you're not smart, it's not because there's anything wrong with you, and it's not because this stuff is too difficult for you. It's just because you're using the wrong tech tools, right? So to create a website that sells your services, what I discovered is that you don't actually need to be a computer genius. You don't need to know how to program and write code. You don't need to use complicated tech tools like WordPress, and you definitely don't need to spend 6 months figuring out on your own. Instead, what you do need is a positive attitude. You need to say, hey, I know I don't know this tech stuff yet, but I'm confident that I can learn new things because I've done it a zillion times before. You also need to use tech tools that will make your life easy, like Squarespace, which is what I teach in my course. And then you need a proven step-by-step system to follow. You need a roadmap and some guidance. And so in my course, Simple Site Blueprint, which is actually opening up for enrollment tomorrow, I teach you all of those things. I give you all of the step-by-step tutorials and templates and checklists and so much more so that you can get this done quickly and easily. Okay, mistake number 3 that I made when I was launching my first website, and actually well on into several other iterations of my website, is that I spent way too long fiddling with my photos, my fonts, my colors, and my copy. I procrastinated hard. And if you have ever procrastinated, I want you to let me know about it in the chat. Give me a heart or a yes or something like that, because this is something that really affects creative people like you and me. You feel like your website needs to be perfect, and you know that looks are important on your website. You've heard the stats that 89% of consumers search the web before they make a buying decision. You've heard that 75% of users admit to making judgments about a company's credibility based on their web design. And you've heard that first impressions are 94% design related. You know that looks matter on your website. You know that they're important. But the problem here isn't whether or not you think your design's important. The problem is you, like I was, are terrified of creating a website that's not good enough, that doesn't live up to your standards, that other people are going to criticize. You, in other words, are stuck AF in perfection paralysis. And let me tell you, this is killing your business. Because if you don't have a website that you're proud to market, you aren't going to market it. And if you don't market your business, you don't have any clients, right? It's a pretty simple formula. And if you're too busy spending 6 months fiddling with your fonts and your colors, again, that's time you could spend marketing your website, marketing your business, and getting clients in the door. And I know that I personally have spent way too long in the past fiddling with fonts and colors and little things like this, trying to make sure it was all perfect. When in reality, there's no such thing as the perfect website. There's only a website that's good enough for now. In fact, I even hired, a couple of years ago, I hired a professional copywriter. I got a photo shoot done. I did all of this fancy stuff. And then because I wanted my new website to be so perfect, I literally spent 4 months designing it and not releasing that new copy and not releasing those new photos. And when I did release them, I booked 3 pay-in-full clients within a week, which was $15,000 worth of business at that time. Can you imagine what would have happened if I had released all of that stuff 4 months sooner and gotten out of my own head and stopped trying to be so perfect? Yeah, it kind of hurts to think about. And I do not want the same thing to happen to you. I don't want you stuck in perfection paralysis. I don't want you procrastinating because I want you to have a simple, gorgeous website that sells your services. And I want you to go out there and get clients and actually grow your business. And that doesn't happen if you're spending 6 months fiddling with your fonts and colors. So that's why in Simple Site Blueprint, it's a 5-week live experience. So we've got 5 weeks of content, we have implementation weeks, and we have group coaching calls with me so that you can get your website up and running within that 5-week time frame and get out of your head and get out of that perfection paralysis. So if all of that is sounding good, if all of that is resonating with you, then come and join me tomorrow, Friday, October 18th, on the free masterclass that I'm hosting. It's all about helping you create a simple website that sells your services, helping you avoid these common mistakes. And at the end of it, I'm going to be opening the doors to Simple Site Blueprint and giving you a link to save $200. So come and join us on the masterclass. It's simplesiteblueprint.com/masterclass, and reply and let me know, leave me a comment and let me know what mistakes you've made on your website in the past. To recap quickly, we talked here about the mistakes that I've made and how you can avoid them. So for starters, I've used the wrong tech tools. I tried to create my website without a plan, and I spent way too damn long fiddling with my fonts and colors. So those are my big mistakes, and now I want to hear about yours, and I really hope I'll see you on the masterclass tomorrow. All right, it's been so fun chatting, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.